So I have not played Pokemon in 4 to 5 years, ever since at any capacity whatsoever, ever since X and Y came out. And now that Pokemon Sword and Shield is coming, which I am not very excited about because the national decks, hashtag bring back the national decks, um, free my niggas. So basically I want to just learn the meta again and just try and become familiar with the Pokemon game. So this is something really crazy happened in one of my first games back. So first of all, I lead my Simisear. He leads out with Gliscor. I can't really do anything, so I switch out to my Terrakion. He goes for Earthquake, right? I really don't know what I was thinking at this point. Anyways, I was thinking, I was thinking that a Stone Edge could kill him because he was flying, but I forgot that ground was, rock was ineffective against ground. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And when I go for the Stone Edge, it doesn't kill him. I was thinking he was a substitute Gliscor because that's what I used to run. So that's the only thing that I remember from playing Pokemon Showdown. And he goes for the Earthquake, finishes me off, whatever. And now I go into my Mesprit because obviously I can't switch to my Simisear. So I go for he has a U-turn, which really doesn't do that much. But I go for the Ice Beam because, as you guys can see here, I go for the Ice Beam because it is the obvious play. I really don't want to try and, predict and all that. I'm not really with it because this Gliscor is a threat to my team. I have a Simisear. I have a Weavile that can't touch it. I have a Pyroar that really can't touch it. That has Earth. The Gliscor has Earthquake. So basically, I'm just trying to get it out of there as fast as possible. But thankfully, I think, I outspeed the Kingler. Go for the Psychic. He goes for a knockoff, tank it, whatever. And he just loses his HP and dies. And he goes for the Azelf. Finishes me off. I'm out of there, whatever. Then I switch into Weavile. Thankfully, this Weavile does not have Pursuit, because if it did, I would have went for the obvious play, which is to go for Pursuit, because you would think that because he's weak to Dark-type Pokemon, that he would switch out, but he did not. So I go for the Knockoff, which is surprisingly the only Dark-type move on this Weavile. Man, random games are really weird, because they be having the weirdest movesets. So I switch out to my Toxicroak because I really can't touch the Arbok, and I did not think that this Arbok had Earthquake. And I forgot the fact that ground was even super effective against poison. So anyways, he goes for the Earthquake again, gets me out of there. And I go for Simisear. Now this is where the bad luck begins. Watch what happens. I miss a Fire Blast. He goes for the Earthquake. As you can see, I do not die from it. Look at that damage. Look at that damage. If I had just landed that one Fire Blast, this game would have been so much easier. So anyways, I go into my Weavile. I go for the Ice Shard thinking that it would kill it, but it does not, sadly. Now what? Oh my god, now he goes for the Rest. I should have gone for the Knockoff. The Knockoff would have made this so much easier. Because if I had gone for the Knockoff, he would have went for the Rest, and he would not have had a Chesto Berry, so he would have been asleep and I could have easily killed him. And this game would have been so much easier. But now watch the horrible play that I make. It just goes to show you that I really do not remember anything about Pokemon. So he goes for the Earthquake. I go for the Low Kick. I go for a Low Kick because I forgot that fighting is not super effective. Is not very effective against poison. Then my guy goes for the Earthquake. Finishes me off, whatever. Then I go into my Pyro. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, whatever. I'm not really serious about a comeback or whatever. Let me just set up with Sunny Day, try and get one or two kills. So I was thinking, okay, he at least has to have one Pokemon that can do work against me, which I was expecting was the Gliscor because has Earthquake. So I go for the Sunny Day. He goes for the Earthquake. I tank it, thankfully. I go for the Fire Blast. Get him out of there. Then he switches into his Scolipede, which I really do not understand. He should have just switched out to his Gliscor. But thankfully, the Fire Blast does not miss. He goes for Scolipede out. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, Fire Blast, it usually never lands for me, especially because, what happened early in the game. So I go for the Fire Blast, get him out of there, he is dead. And now watch, he has a Whimsicott. A Whimsicott, he cannot touch me whatsoever. If he goes for a Grass type move, I'm a Fire type, that will not touch me. If he goes for a Fairy type move, that will also not do too much damage because I am a Fire type. At this point, I am dancing, I am celebrating, watch what happens. He goes for the Moonblast, does nothing. I go for the Fire Blast. I'm thinking, okay, my special attack is low. I'm probably gonna miss this Fire Blast. Watch what happens. Boom! He is dead. This guy left expeditiously. The minute the game was over, he just left. So yeah, moral of the story is always set up when you're trying to play when you're dying or in a bad situation, because it's always worth it. Always worth worth the risk. You feel me? And yeah, it was really fun getting back to Pokemon Showdown, and I'm really looking forward to the meta in Pokemon Sword and Shield.